And when did you realize you wanted to take your content creation to the next level with this?
You know, even just sitting together as a family, we would always discuss like different ideas. It would be like a focus group, basically.
What do you think is the best way for content creators to monetize their content?
And just to make sure also that it's things that we genuinely enjoy. It's not just, I just want to post for the sake of money. Like, I would never do that.
Don't show yourself that much. Yeah. Is there a reason behind it? And why did you start doing that?
The page is not really about me. It's more about the food. I want people to go out and really trust the page as like where to go spend their time in Dubai.
Desert Media presents The Bigger Picture. Today we have a very special guest who is not just a food content creator, but an entrepreneur of multiple businesses. You have probably seen her videos pop up on your Instagram under the name thedubailist. Let's welcome Haya. Haya, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me here.
Thanks for coming. We are so excited to have you here on the podcast. Now, I wanted to ask you something. This is, I think, one of your first interviews, right?
First one.
Yes. How does it feel? And what made you say yes to the Bigger Picture podcast?
Okay, so whenever I got requests for interviews, I was always kind of declining them just because I didn't feel comfortable putting myself out of my comfort zone. But with you, I don't know, I've seen you around. I felt comfortable and I thought like it's a nice chance to put myself out there and also get to meet you.
Perfect. So one thing that we have in common is that we're both content creators. So I think that's going to be very interesting. We can discuss about the journey of content creation, the struggles that we go through and all of that.
I've actually been following you since I started after you, and I remember I used to follow your account and I actually did look up to you. So
no way.
I love your content.
Thank you so much. I love yours. I want to know how you started thedubailist, and when you started, did you realize it would get this big?
Okay, so I started just before COVID actually. So it was never really something I wanted to do to become a content creator. It's not something I actually saw myself doing ever. I was working in the oil and gas industry. I had a very corporate job. Everything was like Excel, data analysis, that kind of thing. But I've always loved the food industry. I always was on the hunt to like look for like these funky, cool ideas or like little cute concepts. And I always loved meeting owners, see the passion behind their business. So I used to just spend my weekends basically exploring, going to different places. And then just taking pictures just because I wanted to remember them, basically. But I wouldn't post it anywhere. I never had a page or anything. Okay. And this was like over years. And whenever I had spare time, I would like work on a list, like researching all these cool things. And I would like put it in my reminders, like on a list on my phone called Dubai. And that's kind of where the name thedubailist came around. But anyways, so on the same day, my mom in the morning and my husband in the evening, on the same day, both said like, why don't you start a page? At first, I'm like, no, I don't have time for that. Yeah. Or why should I do that? But then kind of the idea kind of worked itself into my brain over a few days. And then I thought, you know what, instead of always answering people like all my friends are always telling me, you know, the good places, where should I go? Where should I go?
Yes.
I thought, let me just post it and then just tell my friends to check the page. So that's kind of how it started. And then they would tell their friends, and then that's kind of how it grew from there. But that was kind of like very slow. I still never saw it becoming big or anything like that. Then COVID came, but I had a stock of photos from years, so I just kind of kept posting them throughout. Okay. And then really when Reels were introduced, that's when things kind of grew, because then you were able to reach beyond just the followers that you had. So then that's kind of when things grew, and then I was really enjoying it and I felt like I could follow my passion. So I left my job and I started doing this full time.
That's so cool. So basically you started the page during your job. So you would just work on weekends and all of that.
Yeah, exactly.
And, so during COVID as well, you started posting and all of that. But when was that one collaboration where you thought that, oh wow, this is getting really big for me?
To be honest, I didn't really get many collabs in the beginning, or I was just kind of doing my own thing, and I probably didn't really start charging as early as I probably should have. I didn't realize that it was a job, honestly. So I just kind of went along with it, to be honest. And then I don't think there was one collab specifically, to be honest. It was more just over time, especially because I'm really, really picky with the collabs that I work with. So I don't think there was like one specific collab. I just felt like I was having my hands full, and it just became my job somehow.
So you mentioned that you're a bit picky with collabs. What is your, like, do you have a checklist or something like that? Like, what do you look at before you say yes?
Okay, so every time I always check the place. Like if I've heard of it before and it's somewhere I regularly go, then okay, I'm immediately happy.
Yes.
But if it's somewhere that I've heard it's good, I'll just do a bit of extra research, ask a couple of friends who've been, and just make sure everything's good before I accept. If it's something I'm not sure about, I'm always like doing a lot of research, checking Google reviews and everything like that. And then if everything looks good, then I'll go for it. But even if I go, let's say if it was a paid collab and I reach there and I didn't enjoy my experience, I'll never post it. I'll just give them the money back, pay for whatever I ordered, and I won't post it. So that's kind of how I work.
Okay.
Just to make sure I everything I post, even if it's paid, I'm always something I'd really be happy to go and spend my weekend and money on.
Yeah, that's really good. Like you want to keep your reviews as authentic as possible. And that's what I love. That's what a lot of influencers have started doing as well. Even if it's a paid collaboration, like even the big influencers, they say that, oh yeah, we will just give the money back if we don't have a good experience. But I wanted to ask you now, content creation, when we started both our pages, I'm sure we never thought that this could be a way to make money, right? And now like they're literally people that are living content as content creators. They're making their money, like they don't have to work or anything like that. What do you think is the best way for content creators to monetize their content?
Okay, so I guess in the UAE, unlike like in the US where you have the TikTok Creator Fund and you get paid for views, over here we don't have that. So we just need to rely on the brands. Personally, I don't fully rely on my page. I mean, I have a team and we do other things as well, like the social media agency, and I have a couple of concepts that I run. So we kind of work through that. But in terms of collabs, I feel like I still have my fair share of where we go out to explore. We, of course, pay, we go out, we enjoy the things. And then I want to keep that part genuine. And then for the brands, of course, where it's a little bit more controlled, you have a specific campaign that you need to push, then I'm very picky and choosy with that. And there's a lot, like, honestly, I would say we reject more campaigns than we do just because I'm really picky with what I want to promote. And just to make sure also that it's things that we genuinely enjoy. It's not just I just want to post for the sake of money. Like, I would never do that.
Exactly. That's really good. So you mentioned that you have a team of content creators. When did you make that transition from you handling your entire page to a team of 7 people? And where did you find that level of trust that the thing is, when you're a content creator, you have your style of filming. You are sort of a perfectionist. To let other people shoot for you, how did that go for you?
Okay. Well, in the beginning, it was just me on my own, and a lot of my friends and my husband, like, I was kind of troubling everyone. Then slowly over time, I realized like it would be really nice to have someone help out. So I hired the first person, and then slowly from there, like every few months, we would add one more until we're now a big team. So because we were hiring like bit by bit, we were always training them together. I was always involved, and then now kind of everyone got into the same style. But still, like I'm sure when they watch this, they'll be laughing that I'm super picky. Like every single thing, I'm always screenshotting, fix this. So I am quite picky, but I want to make sure that it's consistent, so that whether it's me or someone else, that it always looks like it's the same person.
That's the thing, because I only noticed that you have a team when you were traveling, and I reached out and I thought that you're in Dubai. You're like, no, it's my team. And with the videos, I couldn't tell that it was you or your team. So that's
a
really
big
good.
Compliment. Thank you.
So yeah, they're doing a really good job. And you also, not just content creation, you have multiple businesses. So you have a boba shop in Jordan. You had a pop-up concept in Dubai, the cheesy corn dogs. So, you sort of follow the trend.
Those back very soon, by the way.
Okay, I'm very excited because I didn't get to try it last time. I will definitely try it this time. So you started your pop-up, and then you have your agency as well. Then I loved Scratchless. So we're going to talk about it like one by one.
Okay.
But how did you become an entrepreneur? Where did that idea come from? And when did you realize you wanted to take your content creation to the next level with this?
Okay, so I think ever since I was young, I come from a family where everyone has their own business, and it was always something that, even just sitting together as a family, we would always discuss like different ideas. It would be like a focus group, basically.
Love that.
So basically, I've always kind of wanted to have my own business, but I think when I was happy and settled in my job, I just felt like I'm just going to retire here, like I'm comfortable. But then I've always had this passion of having my own thing, and bubble tea has always been something I love. And I remember before bubble tea was in the UAE, while I was at university, I said, first thing I'm going to do when I come out of uni, I'm going to open a bubble tea shop. But then by the time 4 years were over and I get here, there's like 500 shops, and I thought there's no point in opening here. And my family said, why don't you open in Jordan, where I'm from? And then I thought, no, I don't want to live there. I'm happy here. So then I kind of forgot the idea.
Okay.
Fast forward a few years later, my cousin says that he wants to open a bubble tea shop in Jordan. And part of me was like, okay, let him live my dream. It's fine. I just kind of let it go. But then a year later, when I didn't see it like actually start, I told him like, are you going to do it or not? Tell me, because I really want to. And then he said, no, I want to. I'm just like, I need to get started. It takes a lot of work. I
Yeah,
said, if you want, we
exactly.
can do it together. And then he said yes, and we just partnered up and we started it. So now it's opened last year in April. So we were actually the first like proper bubble tea shop in Jordan. So that was really nice. We had a lot of hype
Perfect.
when we first opened. And since we've opened, like 10 other shops opened or even more. But
Oh, wow.
I'm not too concerned because we thought kind of one step ahead, and we knew that as soon as we open, a lot of people are going to go and open. So we
exactly.
started a distribution company where we sell the bubble tea like raw material to the shops.
Very
So kind of
smart.
yeah, and that part's actually a lot easier than the bubble tea shop, I would say, because it's just, you know, buying and selling products. Whereas with the bubble tea shop, it's my brand. I'm really, really careful about it. I'm always trying to be
Exactly.
creative and launch new products all the time.
I love that because I saw that there was literally like a bubble tea in a teddy bear, and I
Oh,
love the
yeah.
concept. And I'm like, okay, this must be Haya. Like, she's just coming up with new concepts. Like, how do you come up with these ideas as well?
To be honest, I think a lot when I travel, like I always like to find those funky
Yes.
concepts. Like I said, a lot of things I see in Dubai and I realize they're not in Jordan. Why don't I do it? A lot of things I might see, like someone does something similar in another industry, but then I think like, how can I adapt that and do something cool? Because in Jordan, like when we first opened, we were like kind of the trendsetters, and I feel like now. How do I differentiate myself from all these new ones that keep opening? So I keep kind of thinking of new ideas that we can launch just to kind of keep that hype going.
That's really nice. So, was there some like secret bubble tea recipe that you discovered that made you start the shop? Because making bubble tea is not an easy job. Or did you just find someone who knew how to do it? Like, how did that go about?
I went through a course, like I did like a bubble tea
Oh,
training course. So then
interesting.
I learned how to do it, me and my cousin. And then when we went to Jordan, we trained the staff there. And I remember it was really funny when we first started, like we brought in these staff. Obviously,
Yeah.
no one had any experience because there's no bubble tea in Jordan.
Exactly.
And I remember the first time I was like cooking the tapioca pearls and teaching them how to cook it. They were all like, and I, you know, they're black balls for
Yeah.
them. They look really weird. Like no one wanted to try it. And then all the staff were like just looking like this. I'm like, look, you have to try it because you're going to be working here. So you need to.
You need to taste it.
And then they're all
that.
telling me it smells like Maggie soup.
What?
And then this, like, I'll never forget this comment because I couldn't believe it. But anyway, that just shows you like how new it was.
Okay,
New it was to them.
interesting.
Yeah.
I had no idea there's like a whole bubble tea course. Where did you do it? Like, was it in UAE or Jordan or
So-
Taiwan?
I mean, so our suppliers are in China, but what we did is like we did the course here and we did a lot of things online as well. So we kind of learned. But then at the same time,
Interesting.
what they teach you is the very basics. You need to do your own research and keep developing the recipes. Like a lot of things we didn't follow exactly their training. Like it was the base, but
Yeah.
then we had to keep working on it to develop and create new drinks.
Okay, perfect. So this is not the only creative idea that you thought of. You even started Scratch List, which is basically a concept where you have like different cards and you scratch them. I want to know like where did that idea come from? How did you even like go about it? How did you implement it? Because no one in Dubai was doing that.
So basically, this idea actually came like 3 years ago. I know we only launched this year, but that's just because it took me
Okay.
ages to get started
Yes.
because of all the other things going on. But basically, I was just watching TikTok, and that you might have heard of it, that couple's adventure book. Like it just came
Okay.
up like a video from like an advertisement video from them, and it was basically like a book where couples go out like scratch, and then they get like a cool date idea, and then they go, they enjoy it, and then they snap a Polaroid that comes with the book, and then they stick it in.
That's so cute.
Yeah, I thought it was really cute. So I actually sent it to my husband, and then he replied like, "Why don't you do this?" And I'm like, "How would I do this?" Like he was actually the one who kind of encouraged
Okay.
me. And then I saw it was like a book and a Polaroid. It cost $150. I thought like, there's no way I'll be able to do something similar here. So then we thought, okay, how can we make it cheaper but still have the element of the scratch? So that's why we made it into cards. And then I thought, instead of it just being like a fun idea of where to go, like why don't we adapt it so that it's not just for couples but for friends? And we split it into categories of breakfast, cafe, dining, and activities. So then that way we partner with our favorite brands, and then we ask them like if they'll be able to give a discount to the to the people who buy the deck,
Yeah.
so that they can actually go out and enjoy it and feel like it's worth buying the cards, because they'll get the fun adventure aspect. They'll be guaranteed to go somewhere nice because it's something that we've put in the deck. And at the
Exactly.
same time, they'll get a discount, so they'll get their money back.
It's so great because, you know, there are times when you can't decide where to go, especially with your friends. You're just roaming around and you
I thought it
can't
would
decide a
it'd be a
spot.
fun idea.
Right? It happens all the time. So I think that's a really creative idea as well. So to get into more of the content creation aspect, I wanted to ask you about your ideas with like filming and all of that, like your like editing videos. How did you learn? Was this like learning through the process, or was it like in the beginning, maybe someone you looked up to? How did that go for you?
So to be honest, as I mentioned before, like my job was in a very non-creative industry. It was very corporate, very numbersy and all that. But For me, it kind of just happened. Honestly, like I started before Reels and TikTok, so all I knew how to do was take a nice photo with my phone. Then when Reels and TikTok came around, I realized I needed to adapt quickly, so I started kind of learning here and there. I mean, if I look at some of my old videos now, I'm very embarrassed that I posted that.
Same here.
but I don't know. I guess, like you mentioned, I just learned through the process. Just over time, I had to learn to keep up.
And what is there something that you missed about your 9 to 5 job when you started content creation? Because when you move from a job to freelance role or something like that, it gives you a bit of a shock, right? Because obviously you're not getting that monthly salary. How was that transition for you? And do you wish to go back to the corporate life sometimes?
I of course miss my colleagues, but I'm still in touch with a lot of them now, so that's good. But I definitely don't miss like having an office and having like a very structured day. I like having my freedom. I'm able to travel, work, and all these like little dreams that I had of opening all these things. Like I'm able to do because I have that freedom.
Yeah.
And I enjoy like going out for shoots, meeting new people every day. So that part's really nice. But sometimes, of course, it's nice. You want to just have a routine, go to work, put your coffee, sit and type. I mean, sometimes it's nice to have that structure, but overall, I'm definitely happier now.
Okay, perfect. And because you're juggling multiple things at once, you know, you always need that support system to work through all of this. Who would you say is your support system? Like that one person you can always count on?
Definitely, I think it's a balance between my family and my husband. Both of them have been super supportive throughout, and definitely I don't think I would have been able to do everything I've done without having their support. And of course my team. I mean, I'm able to rely on my team here so much that I'm able to actually go and open a business in another country and travel for that. So I'm really thankful for them as well.
And in your content, I've realized, I've noticed one thing, that you mostly focus on the food and you don't show yourself that much. Is there a reason behind it, and why did you start doing that?
So to be honest, I don't show my face so much just because for me, the page is not really about me. It's more about the food. I want people to go out and really trust the page as like where to go spend their time in Dubai. So I don't feel like I want the page to be about me. I feel like I want it to be more about the places and giving them the spotlight. You know what I mean? Recently, sometimes I do show my face here and there just because I feel like the page does need like a person just to make you feel that trust, you know what I mean? So sometimes I do sneak myself here and there, but personally, the page is not about me. I want it to be more about the places.
So you add like a little bit of human element here and there, but you don't like show yourself all the time. You want to focus on the food, which is great, by the way. And because you've, you know, covered so many different restaurants, so many different concepts, what would you say are your top 3 recommendations in Dubai?
Oh no,
this is going to be really hard.
This is a very tough question. You have to give me a cuisine or something, like just to pick like this.
I think 3 that just the food just blew your mind. You tried it, and for example, I'm a person, I'm going to ask you, Haya, I just need good food in Dubai. Just give me 3 spots. Any cuisine is okay. What would be the first 3 or maybe first 2 that pop up in your mind?
Okay, to be honest, personally, I love Asian food, and I feel like I have a very strong hot pot craving at least once a week. So I tend to like to go to 9 Squares and Jumeirah Road. So that place I personally love, and it's somewhere I go very, very often. Let me think. I would say Pizzeria L'Antica da Michel as well. I really love their pizza. Like I like that authentic Napoleon crust personally. Sometimes when I recommend it to friends, they tell me they don't like it because, like, you know, you pick up the pizza and everything falls off. But for me, that's a proper Italian pizza. So for me, I love that place and I'd always recommend it. And then I would say Sah Noom. This is like it's a Syrian place in Business Bay. I go there very, very often. I know I don't post it much, but it's because it's truly my happy place. There's this tea there they have. It's called Khamir tea, and it's basically like it comes like it's 2 layers, and it's like you have to try
tea.
it.
What is it? Is it like with milk or?
So it's like a black tea with sugar syrup, I guess, but it has like cinnamon, I guess cardamom. They won't tell me. But basically this is my guess. And it comes like 2 layers. So like 1 layer is like the watery sugar, and then the other layers, so you have to mix it. And then they have like nice grills and stuff. So I go there. It's a very chill place. You play games, and honestly, it's one of my favorite spots. I'm there at least once a week. So.
Okay, perfect. I think I'm going to check out the last one that you said. It sounds really nice. It's like a comfort food place, right?
Yeah, like Arabic food, grills, mezze, and then it's a nice vibe. Everyone's just chilling, playing like board games or cards or anything. So it's just kind of a really nice place to go and unwind.
And I wanted to ask you as well, because you've already done a lot, but what are your plans for thedubailist? How do you see it in the future? Like, are there any new businesses you're looking forward to? What is your plan with that?
So I think right now I have quite a lot on my plate. So I think I want to just kind of not open anything new for a little while and just focus on what I have. So for now, for thedubailist, I think I just want to really start exploring more of the hidden gems, like not the places that even have a social media account, like the places that are really hard to find. So I kind of want to free up my time a little bit to go out and explore those amazing, authentic places that you can't really find unless you go out and hunt for. So this is kind of my focus with thedubailist going forward. And Scratch List Edition 2 we're working on, so hopefully we'll be launching that in a few months' time. And for jellyfish, now we have the winter season, so I'm just kind of like thinking about what we can do, something a bit crazy just to keep the hype going this winter.
So now let's talk about the agency side. It's never easy to deal with clients and all of that, because obviously you have to make the content for restaurants. It's very different than making the content for your page, because you can film in your own way. What are some of the lessons that you've learned in that journey?
I think in the very beginning when I first started, I didn't realize like how difficult it can be if you and the client aren't on the same page. So in the beginning, like anyone who would approach me for content creation, I would say yes and I would go for the job. But then over time I realized like there's some very difficult clients and some clients that you'll really enjoy working with.
Yes.
So I made sure to kind of drop the clients that things weren't really working out with, and now really focusing my efforts and energy on the clients that we enjoy working with and that we really believe in their concept and brand, not just like a restaurant you go and create content for. I feel like if I'm not truly passionate about the brand, I don't believe the brand will be a success. It's very hard for me to also create the content for them. So now I'm very picky with the brands we work with, but really happy with them.
Okay, perfect. So that is something that you've learned along, like to be picky. And you know what, that's really good, because money doesn't always come first. You need to keep like, also if the client is not great to you, you need to be professional and you need to be in good terms, because Dubai is really small at the end of the day, right?
Exactly.
You can run back to the same people as well sometimes.
True.
And I wanted to ask you one more thing. When it's content, there's like a debate between barter and paid, right?
Yeah.
So do you still do barter collaborations, or do you only do paid? And what are your criterias when you're picking between the two?
So I think for me, to be featured on the page, I'm just picky about that in general. It doesn't matter whether I went out there on my weekend or it was barter or it was paid. Like I'm always going to be very picky about the brand we feature. For me, I prefer not to do barter. I'd rather go on my own or have it paid, just because with barter, you're giving the brand a chance to tell you, mention this, mention that, review this, review that, and then they're controlling your content. And then in the end, for me, I'd rather just go out there and pay that 100, 200 dirham bill and just keep it genuine, and not have that pressure to post now. Like I can go take my time with it, put the creative angle I want to, write about the dishes I liked, not mention the things I didn't like, and just kind of keep it genuine,
Yeah. Okay, that's great. And to keep things genuine, you will like not do barter, but you will just go and experience it yourself as well.
Exactly. So I always try to do things on the weekend that I genuinely enjoyed, and I want to go and post on the page. You know what I mean? So even if I spend my time on the weekend going to somewhere and I didn't enjoy it, I just won't post it. Because I don't believe in putting a brand and saying bad things about it. It's not fair, because maybe I didn't enjoy it, but someone else would. You know what I mean? So if I enjoyed it, I post about it, and hopefully everyone else does too.
Okay, perfect. And do you believe in giving restaurant suggestions privately as well, like a private review if you don't have a good experience, for example?
I mean, a lot of times people DM me and I'm always honest, but I mean, if it's something I posted, it's always going to be something that I enjoyed. You know what I mean? If they ask me about a place like a random place, like how do you feel about this place? If it's not something I liked, I'll tell them like, personally, I didn't like it, but for example, this is a place I prefer, but you might try it. Some people like it,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So Dubai is saturated, not just Dubai, but UAE is saturated with content creators. Is there any way that you keep yourself unique in terms of your content?
So I think definitely since I started, a lot of new people have come about, but I feel like they inspire me a lot of the time. Like they also find some good spots. So sometimes if I go a place after they visited, I always make sure to mention them and thank them for recommending it. So I feel like if anything, it's nice to learn from all these different people that are coming about and learn from their styles as well. And if anything, it pushes me to improve, to try out different techniques with my style, not to keep it always the same. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's great. Yeah, honestly, I'm so with you on that, because there are a lot of people that will go on other people's recommendations, but they don't mention or they don't give credit. I mean, I get it when it's like maybe a news agency or something. By the way, even news agencies at times, they're looking at influencer videos and then they do their stories accordingly. So who thought it would become this big, right? Like it's insane. So now the next section of the podcast is going to be rapid fire, where I'm going to ask you questions and you need to answer as quickly as you can.
Okay.
So I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay. Ready.
Ready? Perfect. So let's start the rapid fire. A restaurant you keep going back to?
Sahanno.
Yes. Overrated food in UAE?
Overrated. I feel like truffle, honestly.
Truffle?
I'm not a fan of truffle, but whatever you put it on, you can't taste anything else anymore. So I feel like they need to kind of stop with the truffle.
Yeah, I think there's like a pizza like that's covered with truffle as well.
I mean, everything has truffle.
And a content creator who inspires you?
Just one. It's kind of tough. I feel like I'm inspired by all of them in their own special way. Like,
Okay.
I feel like even within my team, sometimes we say like this person's style or this person's style. Like, I feel like each person has a style, and I'm inspired by all of them in a different way.
Okay.
I don't think I can mention just one specifically.
Perfect. I totally understand. A crazy adventure you have done?
A crazy adventure I've done.
It could be throughout your life. Like, are you into crazy adventures?
I mean, not things with much adrenaline. I think
Okay.
I'm not super adventurous with that. But I feel like the time I quit my job, I had never monetized anything from my page, and I had nothing kind of going for me. And I feel like I just kind of quit out of nowhere. And I said like, okay, you know what? Let me just see where life takes me. If in a year's time I'm broke and I just can't continue, I'll just get a job and continue my life. So I kind of just quit with no plan.
Okay, so you just took that leap of faith.
Yeah.
Last country you traveled to?
Last country, Greece.
If you had to delete one social media platform, which one would it be?
Twitter, to be honest. I never use it.
Same here. I think it's already not on my phone. A video you are most proud of?
The video I'm most proud of. Ooh.
There are going to be many.
I think actually it was my first viral video. It was for Mara Udon back when they first opened. And I feel like we just kind of stumbled upon it. And it was just like kind of when Japanese food kind of started getting its hype. And I just posted it. And honestly, it's a mix of like photos and videos. And it's like a terrible video, honestly. But it was a hidden gem that I'd found. And I posted a video and it completely blew up. And then
Wow.
their sales also went crazy. They had so many people coming through the door. And the owner really thanked me. And we have a very good relationship till now. And actually, that's what kind of helped open the door to hosting Nasty Dogs in their shop.
Oh my God, that's so good. So it goes all the way back to that. A country you would visit just for its food?
Bali, honestly. I went for my honeymoon a couple of years ago, and every year I'm still I want to go.
I've heard Bali is so beautiful.
Bali's amazing. All the food was amazing. Everything from like the authentic places to a lot of like the breakfast, like everything was amazing.
And last question, one advice you would give to any content creator?
I think to stay genuine. I know everyone says that, but honestly, I feel like a lot of people don't really do it, even though it's like what everyone tells you to do. I feel like just genuinely post about the things that you enjoy. Keep it real. If you're a little bit crazy, be a bit crazy. I mean, just be yourself, you know?
Yeah, that's perfect. I think that is the one way you can stay
And I think
unique.
especially if someone's starting out, it's kind of easy to fall into the trap of like all the, you know, those like you get approached every day like to buy fake followers or to join those like engagement pods and everything. And I feel like just don't do that. Just focus on yourself, your content, being genuine for your followers, and then it'll pay off. Because if you start buying fake followers and, you know, joining all these engagement pods and getting all these fake comments and bots and all that, I mean, it's not going to go anywhere, you know?
Exactly, for sure. So the next session is called the Bigger Picture Challenge. So we have the book right here. I'm going to give you this book and a pen, and you have to draw a picture in a minute. So I'm going to tell you what to draw.
I am terrible at drawing.
It's okay. Most guests are. You can see the book.
Okay.
But let me just put a timer. All right. So you have to draw something that you miss about your home country, Jordan.
Okay.
Something you miss the most. It's okay. Go crazy with it. 10 more seconds. Oh, you're done?
I think I am done.
Okay,
I think it won't get better than this.
Let me see. I will show it to the camera as well.
Okay.
So I'm guessing family, food. Maybe you can describe it for me.
Yeah, I think Jordan has like, I guess like a lot of people's home country, has that very simple aspect to life to it where, I mean, the family gathers every day, multiple times, you know, and everyone's just a couple minutes away from each other. So it's always nice to have those like cozy gatherings, and, you know, just like someone calls and says, oh, by the way, I just got fresh mangoes, come over, you know.
Oh, yes.
And I just love that simplicity. You just sit together, you sit and eat fruits, or just sit and eat nuts together. And it's just very simple, but it's just a very nice feeling, you know. And I see my family a lot when I go there. And I mean, I grew up in Abu Dhabi, so like my parents are in Abu Dhabi,
okay.
but my entire rest of the family are all in Jordan. So when we go there, it's always nice to be home and play cards and just the simplicity of life, I think.
I love that. It's so cute. And you know what? I've been to Jordan. Even like the locals that I met, they were amazing. Like I had such a good time as a tourist there. It was such a good experience.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
So that's the end of our podcast. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure you follow thedubailist on Instagram, on TikTok, and watch her content because she does an amazing job and shares amazing hidden gems as well. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and let us know in the comments what your favorite part was, if you're planning to get into content creation, if you've learned anything from this podcast, and stay tuned for the next episode.